Afrimpact Magazine is receiving Mbumwae Suba Smith today. Smith is founder of Subayo Foundation for women and children in Africa. Tell us a little bit about your foundation.
Okay, my foundation was founded in 2001, and the main aim was to empower women and children in Africa. For example, there's a lot of need in education, nutrition, and also just awareness of who we are in the world as women and what our role is in our communities. So I decided to start a foundation in Africa to empower women and children so that they know who they are and what their roles are in society. And so that at least we can be women who can speak for ourselves and impact our communities in terms of nutrition and hunger and also education.
And is people receiving that message easily?
Yes, they are. The women in Africa especially, they have now got into literacy programs where they learn how to read and write at a mature age. And in return, they can do their homework with their children at the end of the day. And they can also start small businesses through micro-lending. And through that small business, they're able to buy school uniforms for their kids and also school supplies. And also even in terms of just being proud of having bank accounts and how to know how to read and write and have their own money and be in control of their own money. So it's empowering them economically.
You were from Zambia, and you established some of your business in Ghana. How did you get there?
Okay, it was because of proximity. From New York to Ghana is like 9 hours by air, but Zambia is like 2 days from New York to Zambia. So it was not easy for me to supervise my projects in Zambia, but it was easier to supervise them in Ghana.
What's the inspiration behind your foundation and the soccer team? I heard you have a soccer team in Ghana. What's the inspiration behind all?
Okay, I have been blessed to have an opportunity to come to America, to go to school and study, and also become a someone. And I'm established in New York. I've lived in New York since 1985, and I have my own daycare. So I decided that since I have been blessed to have a little bit more than my fellow African women back home, I should also reach out and make a difference in their communities. One of the things I wanted to do was to help combat HIV/AIDS awareness, and also to make sure that some of the women can at least prevent getting the HIV virus. So I decided that I should reach out to Africa and start, even if it means starting from the 1-day-old baby, bring that baby up and start teaching them what it's like to take care of themselves. Well, I'll do it. And one of the things that makes women very strong is to have that discipline and teamwork. Because women are born and raised to compete against each other. In Africa, most women compete against resources. And one of the main resources in Africa is men. So you find that as women, we are brought up to compete with each other against men, which should not be or for men. So I decided that if I start the soccer team, I will sensitize the young women so they don't have to compete with each other, but they can work together, the team. And through sport, right? Instead of after school, of being mischievous and not being able to do their homework, at least they have a place to go to where they're accepted as they are, and they can exercise physically without being involved in bad behaviors, which would lead them into unwanted pregnancies or early pregnancies. And also through soccer, right, they would find a way of working as a team to do their homework and achieve better in schools.
But how do you reach out to all those businesses from here, from America?
We have established a way of having coordinators in our projects wherever they are. I have projects in Nigeria, Benin, Ghana, Ivory Coast, Burkina Faso, Malawi, and Zambia. So we have coordinators who work on our projects, and they're in touch with me almost every week. So we have also reports every 3 months of who is doing what. Like we call them progress reports, which show what they are doing, problems they have, or how they are progressing, or how they are not able to move forward, whatever they encounter in their everyday lives.
With the number of women today in professional area, do you think we can still talk about emancipation? Do you think emancipation is still an issue?
It is, and to be there for a while. I really don't want to talk about that so much, but my foundation is at a grassroots level, and funding is very, very difficult. So I cannot go into what I would want to do. I can only do so much and very little at a grassroots level. The funding has been very difficult for us to get.
Do you think if you were a man, you would get funding?
I think so, yes. If I was a man, I would get funding, because it's the man's world out there. Even though women, people take care of children, the sick, the men, and everybody in society, the disabled, it's not easy. Men still feel that they're men. But I must say that have lived in America has made me realize that it's not just the African man who is a man per se, in so many ways. Even here in America, men are still men. And I'll give an example. In most African countries now, we have women in very high offices, which we don't in the US. So it's a universal problem, not just for Africa.
What can you propose or suggest to women to be, funding free? I mean, so they can do their own thing to fund themselves and, organize themselves and things like that, and to go to advance on this area.
Women can try to advance, but we have so many odds against us as women. First of all, the woman's body is made different from man's body. So as women, let's try to move forward, right? We also have other biological needs. Like maybe if you want to move forward, right, you might be pregnant, and therefore you're not able to perform to your fullest capacity. You might even have your period, and then you are not able to perform to your fullest capacity that way. So women, we need to address issues that affect women first before we can even start funding ourselves. If you can recognize that we are women and our bodies are different from men, then we can do that. And also women are not very sensitive towards each other. We sometimes are not very sensitive towards women as we are supposed to. We are also being, what is the word? We are being inhibited by the fact that sometimes we look for approval from men before we can even move forward. So I don't know how we can break that cycle. Because when a woman is in love, her perception of herself and her self-esteem shoots up. When a woman is not in love, her self-esteem shoots down. So it's very, very hard for women to move forward. Men still play a very important role in our lives. And we need them, but we don't know how to partner with them, to ask them to be partners, that we all move at the same level. And men also have not realized that when a woman is happy, she makes a man very happy. So I don't know how we can partner, but this is the message I would like to put out there to the men, that they should be sensitive to their women so that the women can perform higher.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Mbumwae Suba Smith, for your time. Do you have a last word? What would you like to say to men and women from Africa today?
Okay, I would like to say that for most of my men in Africa, we understand where you're coming from. It's a different culture. We love you and we need you. But you need to be sensitive towards us, and you need to start treating us as equal. And you should also know that we do not want to bash you as men, but we would like to partner with you. And we are not fighting men from Africa. Thank you so much.
Thanks for your time.